Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome. My name is Brent Smith, and I have here the beautiful Salakastar. Welcome to our final Heart Talk. I am the in-school program manager, as well as a musician and rapper in the city of Detroit. I'm also a husband, a dad, a foodie, and a Wayne State alumni. Before I introduce Salakastar, I want to thank everyone for their generous donations and contributions through our Power of Heart campaign, and to our lead donors, the Robinson family, PNC Bank, and DKSS CPA and Advisors. And a huge thank you to the Cresswell Family Foundation for matching every dollar given through Facebook fundraisers and our text to give platform, Give Lively. When communities come together to support the arts, it creates a huge impact for our youth. By donating today, you'll be joining artists, educators, community leaders, and families who are dedicated to equipping Detroit's youth with the tools they need to succeed in school and in life. So please consider a donation. The Power of Heart campaign concludes tomorrow, so there's still time to give. So grab your phone and text Living Arts to 44321 at any point tonight to help us reach our goal. Any gift of any amount helps all of our students. So I'm going to dig in. I'm going to read Salakastar's bio. Salakastar is a Detroit-born and based actor, singer, songwriter, poet, and teaching artist working in theater, television, film, and music. She earned her BFA and completed her classical acting training at the State University of New York at Purchase College. She is an ensemble member at A Host for People, a member of the touring company I Too Sing America at the Michigan Opera Theater, and a founding member of Three Sisters, a Detroit-based feminist writing ensemble. She is a 2018 Gilda Award winner and a 2020 Kresge Artist Fellow in Live Arts awarded by the Kresge Foundation. She serves as a teaching artist at Mosaic Youth Theater of Detroit, Living Arts, and Youth Arts Alliance. Her debut album, All Blue, Part 1, Marjarel, will be released independently through her label, Salaka Studios, in 2021. Outside of her professional artistic practice, she loves fashion, spending time with her cat, listening to records, being an auntie, and making her delicious vegan meals. Salakastar, thank you so much for being with us tonight and for all you do for Living Arts. How are you?
I'm well. I'm very well. Very, very happy to be here on this. It was really nice yesterday, but I also appreciate kind of the dreary weather.
Yes, it is. It is very dreary in Michigan, but we come with inspiration and joy. Before I ask my first question, I also want to mention to our audience that we'll be hosting a 15-minute Q&A at the end. So feel free to ask your questions throughout the duration of the conversation through YouTube, I see you, or Facebook live chat, and we'll get to as many questions at the end. So let's dig in. I'm just someone who's known and admired your art, but I first want to just start with who you are as a person. So can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Yes, you did such a great job reading my bio. It's pretty thorough. I'm an actor and a singer and a creator, and I'm someone who's passionate about life and passionate about teaching and about sharing art.
Yes, yes. So let's talk about your experience with Living Arts. How are you connected? And then maybe a second question would be like, what is teaching artistry? What is teaching artistry?
Sure. Well, I've been with Living Arts since 2018 in the in-school arts program, and it's been a wonderful experience. I had very little experience with actually being in the classroom. I've been acting since I was about 6 or 7 years old. So I have a lot of experience in performance, but there was a bit of a learning curve for me being in the classroom and actually honing my teaching artist practice. And Living Arts has been really wonderful in nurturing my growth in that practice. And I think the only way really I could really grow that is to actually be in the classroom. But I've had so much support from the organization and from the other teaching artists. To me, teaching artistry is bringing my art to the classroom in order to enhance the learning and educational experience.
Okay, yes. And can you even give me a little bit more context on who you pulled into this world of living arts? I feel like you are someone that's like the first domino. So you fall and then things start happening. Is there like some artists that you brought along with you to say, hey, you need to check out this organization?
Sure. Well, I can first tell you the artist who brought me into the organization, Shireen Azab. She was the first one who recommended me to Living Arts. She's the director and founder of A Host of People. And I first actually started in the classroom with Sam Maltmaker as assisting them. And as far as the people who I've brought in, Morgan Hudson, aka Super Cool Wicked. She is a wonderful, wonderful teaching artist, and I'm so happy to be able to like extend this community to other wonderful artists that I work with.
Thank you. So I remember this time last year, you and I had a conversation about virtual classrooms, and you were very frank with me, and you said, Brent, I'm not about to do any virtual classrooms right now. I'm just not doing it. And I thought at that time, like, it was very brave of you to just kind of shut me down and say, no, like, this is not what I'm going to do right now. So can you tell me, in this past year, like, what have you been working on, and really, like, what are you excited about to get back into the classroom?
Yeah, I think for me, and I think for a lot of other people, the pandemic was pretty hard to, deal with. And fortunately, I was blessed to become a Kresge Artist Fellow so that I could take the year to really focus on my personal work. And I think that the time that I've had to really focus on my personal practice is really going to enhance my capacity as a teaching artist. And I think because I've been doing everything virtually, I think I had to kind of take a step back and kind of know my limits. So in my practices in like making theater and making music, usually I'm in the room with people talking and breathing and singing and dancing. And really my work is all about breath, right? And we have this airborne virus. So it's like I had to really get in touch with my own breath and my own practice. So I was really, really blessed to have the support from the Kresge Foundation in order to really focus on my own work. So I think when I am able to get back into the classroom, I'll have a really strong foundation. So I'm really, really excited to do that. I'm really excited to, I think this has been as terrible and tragic this year has been, it's also been an opportunity for me to heal. And I think that I'll be able to extend that to the young artists.
Yes. So take us through like your first day of a classroom with Salakastar. What's happening? All eyes are on you. And so how do you reflect back to our young people in the classroom?
Sure. Well, actually, like so my first name is Aja, AJA, and
Mm-hmm.
that is what my students were referring to me as. And I think I'm going to be reintroducing myself as Salakastar. That's my stage name to my students because I just want to kind of extend my stage identity into the classroom. I want to experiment with that and to see how that how I'm going to connect with students in that way.
Yes.
What I want when I step into a classroom, the first thing we do is get into a circle because we're all equal. We're all there to support each other. So I think I'd like to establish that first. So it's not necessarily about me when I walk into the classroom. It is about the students and about learning and sharing together and growing and building together. So that's why we get into a circle. I definitely, we get physical. We start with breath and movement, and because a lot of the times in the classroom, our students are sitting all day. And I really want to get, the body brain connected to this brain. That's really, really important to me. And I think that, when the students sit back down, that blood flow is still going and it enhances the learning experience.
Yeah, thank you for walking us through to your classroom experience. I've had the pleasure of going into your classrooms, and I felt so light. And I remember sitting with a group of students who were also feeling very light and participating and following your direction and your commands. You mentioned this idea of bringing your stage identity into the classroom. I think Living Arts is an organization that has allowed me to bring my stage identity into the workplace and into the organization. Can you talk about your identity as a stage performer, specifically with?
Sorry, it's my internet is a little wonky because of the weather. Would you mind repeating that question?
Sure. You spoke about your stage identity. Can you speak about your stage identity in working with a host for people? And tell us what that is. Tell us what a host of people is. Host for people.
So a host of people, we're a Detroit-based theater company. We create devised theater. It's different from traditional theater. Usually, you come with a script. A writer writes the script, and then you have a director, and then the actors are cast, and then you might rehearse for 4 to 6 weeks, and then you go into production. Our process is a little bit different. We have a theme, and then we create work from that theme. So we create the words, the movement, the story, the design, costume, set. We create that based off of the theme, and then we take about 9 months to create a show. So it's a very organic process. It's a very hands-on process. So usually, as a traditional actor, I would only be the actor, but with a host of people, I'm in the room, I'm writing, I'm creating choreography, and I'm really, really involved in the process. So not only am I a performer, I'm also a collaborator. So for example, this, the show that we're working on now is called Fire in the Theater, and it's about free speech. So it's really, really interesting. So now we're in the process of putting that together. Usually, we're in the room together, but we're creating this show right now virtually. So it's really, really, it's a different process, but I think this particular process does lend itself to this theme because we're talking about free speech, and we're talking about free speech on the internet. So it's really interesting that we're creating this particular piece like this at this time. And I think with a host of people because we're working so intimately, and because we really, like I said, we take like 9 months to a year to create this show. So we're really slow cooking it.
Yep.
And it's really, it has enhanced my artistic life because it allows me to be more involved in the process. And I think my kind of identity and my soul is like woven into the DNA of the piece.
Mm. Mm. So you're bringing so many different things to that ensemble, right? I look at your work as a repertoire because you're here, you're doing this, and you're doing that, right? So that slow cook process with a host for people, you're able to make music. Can you tell us about your upcoming project, your solo project, and what you're happiest about most with that project?
Sure. So I moved back to Detroit about 5 years ago. I had been living in New York, mostly doing theater and film and television stuff. And then when I got back here, I just kind of started to connect with all these different musicians, and I really started to write and to perform. My newest project is called All Blue Part 1 Majorelle, and it is about my love of the color blue, and it's about healing and really coming home to myself. So Majorelle is this mystical character who I've kind of written this like this epic poem about that weaves throughout the album. And it's been a wonderful process. It's also been a process. I founded my own record label last year because I found that I really wanted to be involved in the process of how my music is put out. And to really, I feel in the past year, I think we've seen how unstable the music industry is. And there are a lot of independent artists who are kind of, finding their power through how they're going to put out their music. So it's been also a process learning the industry itself, and also learning that I can produce my own things. I don't necessarily need to go to a major label.
Right. And taking that knowledge and giving it to our young people so they don't have to take the long way in getting into the industry, right? So
absolutely,
you and I have been taking the long way and learned a lot. And so I think that's another value we bring to the classroom with teaching artistry is, how to avoid these pitfalls and how to win and how to level up. If music and art is something that you are passionate about. I feel like we've had some shared experiences in music and art. And one of those shared experiences, we were able to open up for Jack White at Cass Tech for the Bernie Sanders rally. And I remember being backstage after that event, and you went up to Jack White and you was like, Jack, let's take a picture. Can you like tell me about that whole, because I was just all stargazed and just looking around at everybody that was in the room, but you were just so mission driven and getting that picture with Jack.
I had to do it. Let me tell you, Jack White has been one of my heroes since I was like in 9th grade. I've listened to the White Stripes and his stuff and all his other bands, and like I Like I can't, like I love Jack White, and also like I think listening to his music, especially when I was younger, just made me feel so free and so powerful. And also like just seeing him live was really great. I kind of felt like a teenage girl again. And I feel like when I like approached him, maybe I was also kind of bringing that energy. I was so excited. I tried to play it cool, but yeah, it was really, really cool to like meet one of my musical heroes. That was really, really awesome. And we also got to meet Bernie Sanders that day. That was really cool.
It was.
I'm manifesting a collaboration with Jack White. You know, maybe one day we can have a band. I don't know. It's so funny that you all got to witness that, because that was like truly my like teenage girl self being like, excuse me, Mr. White.
It came off like y'all knew each other. So it's written in the stars. It's done. Collaboration coming. It's got me thinking about, you know, just witnessing live music and live art for the first time. And so I have parents that, you know, push me in that direction to hear live music and to have these experiences. And so my first live concert that I remember was Harry Belafonte at the Apollo Theater, and my cousin is at the time is Harry Belafonte's stage manager. So he's like, Brent, I'm sorry, he's his touring manager. He's like, Brent, come meet Harry, come meet the musicians. And now I'm playing Super Nintendo with the saxophone player and Harry Belafonte's band on the tour bus, right? So I look back, and they handled me with so much care and so much love. Can you tell us, you know, your first time in a live concert experience and how that experience moved you?
Yeah. So the first live concert I remember, we saw Stevie Wonder at Comerica Park. I must have been about 10 years old. And that was awesome. I mean, there's like in my life, in my world, there's literally no like Stevie Wonder is everything musically for me, and he carries just so much. And I can't. I'm like, I'm about to cry. Like I can't even express how much he means to me. Just the history that he carries, and how he's moved music forward. So that was really, really awesome. And then I had, as when I was a teenager, I had a Beyonce live DVD that I would watch over and over and over again, and that was really influential. Definitely made me a part of the Beehive. And I've been able to see her live a few times now, and I cannot wait until the day that I can go to another Beyonce concert. She's fantastic live. Who else do I really like live? I love Janelle Monáe live. Fantastic. Erykah Badu live is awesome. It's just a whole other experience when you listen to someone's music and then you can like see them bring that live experience. I also saw Solange live a few years ago. Amazing. Yeah, I love live music, and I'm so excited to hopefully soon be able to experience that again.
Yeah. I mean, we all miss live music. We know that. And I think that's something that, you know, you mentioned like resetting, right? So in this time of shutdown, I've definitely done some studying and how to enhance a live show, or, you know, how to just re-engage a crowd that hasn't seen a live show. So I'm looking forward to that, definitely. make sure all those that are watching, make sure you text Living Arts at 44321. That's text Living Arts to 44321. This conversation's got me thinking, Asia, about even the local shows that we've done, right? And so, can you talk about something local that you've done that really stood out, or that was memorable?
Yeah, let me think. I've done so much.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I used to be in a music collective called Video 7,
Hey,
and there were like what, like 16 of us, and that was a really cool experience. We used to have a series at L Club called Cable Night, and that was really, really awesome. We kind of created our own environment with that. Um, what else? I also perform with a band called Cousin Mouth. I sing
yeah.
backup with along with Super Cool Wicket, and that is really, really awesome live experience. We've also just came out with a record. It's
Mm,
um recently. So that it's I perform with like a lot of different people. Um yeah, I'm trying to think of like a specific experience. There's
mhm,
just been so many.
mhm.
Um yeah, and nothing comes to mind, but I mostly remember like the people who I've sung backup for Super Cool Wicked as well.
Mhm.
It's always so amazing to watch her. Um yeah.
Well, thank you. I'll have one short question, and this is something I think you and I have even previously discussed. But if you could do a remix of any song with any ancestor, who would
Oh
it be?
wow.
Who would
That
it be?
is interesting. Well, I think it would be my great grandmother,
Mm,
um, Effie, who I actually never met her. They called her Big Mama,
mm,
and and people always tell me like, you look like Big Mama, like. And when I was younger, I used to kind of get like, what do you mean by that? But now I feel like now that I like have pictures of her, I see it, and it's not only I think it's like Big Mama energy, the matriarchal energy,
mm,
the being able to handle so much, to take care of people kind of energy. So I think Big Mama. I think I would, because and also I hear that she could cook.
mm,
So I would probably want to do like some remixes of her recipes to like make it vegan.
mm.
Um, yeah.
That's hard. I like that. Um, shout out to ancestral lines and great grandmas and the big mamas.
Yes.
So for those listening, just a reminder to submit any questions that you may have for Salakastar using the chat feature. We have our first question. Cornetta, my wife, as Salakastar is a beautiful name. What does it mean, and why is teaching so important to you?
Yeah. Hi, Cornetta. I miss you. Thank you. Well, my mother named me that. That's my middle name. She knew somehow that I would need a stage name. So
Mm,
it's a stage name. Like I don't know what it means, but it's cool. I dropped my first and last name from my stage name a couple of years ago, and for me, I've been able to kind of define what Slake Star means. So I think through my performance and what I create, I have been kind of defining what that is. Um, Teaching is important to me because it's not about me necessarily, like it's not about like the one way process of me teaching. It is a two-way thing. Um it's kind of like, I feel like when I'm teaching, it's like we're tending to a garden. We're trying to grow something in the minds of young people, but it also enhances my practice as well. And it's also important to me because I just had wonderful teachers who encouraged me. And I do find it important to pass that energy along. I feel like this generation is just so brilliant and so capable. And just the young people I've come across, I'm just like they're just on another level. So I am really inspired and excited to see what they're bringing forth.
Yes, yes. Young people are on another level for sure. I have another question here. What piece of visual art has resonated with you in the past year? This comes from Matt.
Let's see. Oh, I really loved Beyonce's Black is King. It's on Disney Plus. I really, really love that. And actually, like, I was listening to the music for the project came out like a year before, and I was mostly like working out to it. But I loved the cinematography. I loved the production design. I love the costume design. That really, really resonated with me. Let me try to think about something else. I haven't been able to like see things in person, although the exhibition that is currently up at MoCAD, fabulous. Like really every like piece in that exhibition is wonderful. And a lot of those artists I do know, but it's always interesting when you like know an artist, but then you like see some of their new work and you're like, I didn't even, I'm seeing a whole other side of you. So the MoCAD exhibition that's currently up, really, really awesome.
We have a question in from Elena. Elena asks, I heard you were in Random Acts of Flyness on HBO. Can you talk a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, so I auditioned for one role. I didn't get that role, but then I got the role that the episode that I'm in. It's like episode, I think it's episode 3. And that was really cool because the show was created by Terrence Nance, and he's actually one of my favorite directors. I got to know his work through Oversimplification of Her Beauty. And there were a number of different creators and directors working on that show. I got to be directed by Naima Ramos Chapman, who I wasn't familiar with her work before, but afterwards I got familiar with her work, and she's fantastic. So that was really, really cool. Just seeing it, like, the show is pretty controversial, and my part was pretty intense. Even though it was short, it was really intense. So to see how it all came together, because I actually had no idea what was going on in the show, because it really is random acts of flyness. So it's a very non-linear piece, and I only had like little pieces of the script, and I was like, how is this coming all together? This doesn't really make any sense. But once I got to actually see it on TV, I was like, oh. And it was really cool because that show is one of my favorite shows. So that's a really cool experience to be able to be a part of something that you actually really love.
Yeah, a really intense show, as you mentioned, but also very futuristic. And you know, there's some things in there. It's like, wait, that happened after after it filmed. So transitioning back to living arts, what is your favorite class to teach and why?
I really love to teach in conjunction with English and literature. I think it's really cool to kind of be able to like bring some of those characters to life to enhance the experience of the literature. And I love, literacy is really the foundation of theater and acting. It all starts with a script, and it's all about breathing life into those words and into those pages. So I really love to bring that experience to English and language arts.
Yeah, thank you for bringing literacy into the conversation. We got our work cut out for us as educators as we go into this next year and making sure that our students are ready. And I just think art and what you just described is a way to connect it all. I got another question here, and I just want to acknowledge this has been like your press week. As far as getting to know your work more. And I know, shout out to Kresge, I know that you also had some conversations live online with Kresge as well. So this question is, what has it been like to work with Kresge as a 2020 fellow?
Can you repeat that question?
Sure. The question is, what has it been like to work with Kresge as a 2020 fellow?
Yeah. Thank you. It's been wonderful. It's been really, really great. Obviously, the fellowship year was different this year because we did everything virtually, and they've been great support in trying to figure all of that out. But it's been wonderfully supportive, and they've been supportive in really us figuring out how we want to move forward as artists, because I think this year has really changed, at least for me, what I thought I would be doing as an artist, and also the kind of direction that I was going. And also really I got a chance to just figure out, like, why do I do this? Right. And also figuring out, like, really getting in touch with also my collaborators and discussing and transforming the way that we work. So it's really, it's been a beautiful experience, and they're incredibly supportive, and I'm really grateful to be part of that community.
Thank you. We have a question from Zach. He says, what is something you've learned from your students that has stuck with you?
Oh, it's just been so much. Well, mostly it's like when I was in the classroom, it'd be a lot of TikTok dances, honestly, because I realized, like, I am an auntie officially because I have no idea what is going on. So TikTok dances, and really just I think just being curious about the process, and being open and being playful, and I guess being willing to make mistakes, and to also be curious about the mistakes.
Yeah, one of our teaching artists, Stephanie, likes to say mistakes are magic. And I love how she shares that with all of the community, so students, teachers, parents, and it's so true. So thank you for that. And really, thank you for this conversation. Unfortunately, this is going to be our last question. And that question is, what classes do you teach? And do you have a favorite class, and do you teach, and why? I feel like you answered that, but another question just came in. scratch that last question. Do you have a favorite role or character that you've played?
A favorite. That's hard. I think one that's coming to mind, I played in our last show at A Host of People called Cleopatra Boy. I played Cleopatra in Antony and Cleopatra, and I also played Shakespeare. So I had like a ruffled collar, and I spoke like this, and I got to play Shakespeare, and that was really fun. That was really, really fun. It was Shakespeare on trial, so it was really fun to not only do Shakespeare, because performing Shakespeare is so fun, but also to actually play William Shakespeare was really, really fun. Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Well, thank you. And thank you all so much for joining us this afternoon. I want to say a huge thank you to Salakastar for being here tonight, giving us her time, talent, and experiences, and for everything that she does for living arts all around. And with that, I have something for you on behalf of Living Arts and all of us. Here are your roses.
Oh my goodness.
We just want to celebrate you while you're still here with Living Arts and you're still here in Michigan, because you know, you could skip and go to LA and get an Oscar, and you know, we're gonna be like, oh, we knew her. So here are your roses.
Thank you so much. Yes. Oh, thank you. Yes. You are so beautiful. Thank you so much. I feel so loved.
Enjoy. As we close out for the afternoon, we want to again give a massive thank you to the Cresswell Foundation, the Cresswell Family Foundation, for matching every gift received today and throughout the rest of the campaign. And thank you again for all of our other lead donors, the Robinson family, PNC Bank, and DKSS CPA and advisors. You can text Living Arts at 44321. Again, text Living Arts to 44321 to give your gift today or anytime throughout the month of April. We only got one more day, y'all, so make sure y'all text Living Arts to 44321. The campaign ends tomorrow, but we'll still be around, so make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter to see and hear more stories about the impact that you are bringing to Living Arts. Have a great afternoon, everyone, and thank you again for coming. See ya. Peace.
Thank you. Bye.